Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton. It is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the reality shows that we're doing is The Real Housewives of Orange County. But before I get into that, I've got to tell you. So I have to comment. So I'm sorry. Ever since I shaved my face today, it's just been sweating like crazy, and it's making me very uncomfortable. Okay, so I would have been a lot farther along today. However, I just got sucked into like a 30-minute YouTube hole because everyone was talking about this video that Kathy Griffin talked about Andy Cohen, Anderson Cooper, Harvey Levin, Harvey Weinstein, but like she barely mentioned him. But Lisa Bloom, who's apparently an attorney. I don't know her. And so I had to watch it, and then of course I watched the TMZ video of Andy Cohen that they had referenced. I'd read about it, but I hadn't seen that. Then I watched a clip from Watch What Happens Live where Andy and Anderson were discussing Kathy's exit from the Fashion Police. And also, I was then watching, a clip of Mariah Carey. Okay, so here's what happened. First of all, I think people need to before I even begin anything. So, my mom bought me 4 books for Christmas. And the 4 books were 2 books by Andy Cohen and 2 books by Kathy Griffin. That's how much I love both of them. I really do. You know? Having said that, so as an outsider, this is how the whole situation looks to me. First of all, Kathy is very justified and validated in her feelings. Like, I would never, if she's feeling, well, first of all, the whole thing about her being on Interpol and the no-fly list and all that. First of all, I totally believe it. And second of all, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous because she took a questionable picture of holding President Trump's head. Now she's got all this federal wrath. I mean, it seems a little bit extreme. I don't put it past our government, but that just seems like that's a little bit much. I mean, she wasn't out there, preaching to ISIS. I mean, she just, she made a joke. She's a comedian, and it wasn't that funny. I mean, I didn't think it was that funny, but that doesn't mean that I think she should be on the no-fly list. I mean, come on. Comedians make jokes all the time that bomb. I wouldn't even consider myself a full-on professional comedian, but I tell jokes all the time that are either over people's heads or they don't get it, and shit happens, you move on, right? So a lot of that, I'm gonna say, I haven't had anything to drink. I just wanted to let you know, because you might be thinking, oh my God, he's sweating, he's drunk. I'm really not drunk. It's just my face, and it's because I'm not sweating anywhere else in my body. Obviously, I'm in my Forever Lazy, which I love. But okay, so here's the thing. Kathy was talking about this video where Andy Cohen rips her to shreds, and my friend Josh texted me, and he was telling me about this video where Andy Cohen went off on Kathy Griffin. I watched the video. He didn't go off on her. In fact, if anyone pays attention to pop culture, you'll know he was making a reference to Mariah Carey, who said about J-Lo, I don't know her. That was a big, it was on memes everywhere. You all must have seen that. And that was really, he didn't say one negative thing about Kathy Griffin, actually, on that whole video. Now, was he thinking it or whatever? Who knows? But I'm just saying, for that video to elicit this response from Kathy, it just seems a little bit much. But again, having said that, I know I keep going back and forth, but I love them both. But if I had the government down my throat and was constantly, I might start to get a little bit paranoid too. Who knows, right? So she plays this message that Harvey Levin left for her, and she went off on Harvey Levin. She said that she's done more for the gay community than he has. What has he done? She's been an ally since before he was out. Now, those are all legitimate concerns, actually. As a gay guy, I definitely think that, Kathy has more than 100% been there for the gay community. I've got to say that. I don't know what Harvey's done lately, so I can't really speak on whether he's done anything for the gay community or not. I know that, I didn't know that he was gay until someone pointed it out to me, and it's not because he's not Queenie or anything, but because he's never really talked about sex or anything. So it's not like there was like a big, shining star saying I'm a gay. But apparently he's like some big, Republican who is on the phone with Donald Trump multiple times a week. I mean, okay, I guess. And I will say, it is suspicious that who was some of the advertisers on TMZ, Fox News. Okay, but anyways, I just want to point that out. It does seem a little bit weird that she's like, oh, I can't believe that TMZ would mention every single time that I had I did a gig and it got canceled. Well, first of all, if you bring in a lot, I mean, this is how the internet works. If you bring in a lot of viewers to the site, they're going to put up a lot more stories about you, even when there isn't a lot to report. They're not going to make stuff up, but they'll report on every little thing that they can to put up a story about you. It's because they want to drive traffic to the website so that they can have people buy things from their advertisers, and then they can charge more money for advertising. That's how the internet works. So the fact that she's clickbait, that should just tell you that a lot of people either love her or hate her, but they care enough to click on the site to read about her. So that's actually a good thing, right? Okay, so, I just want to point all of that out. And then she also went on this thing about how, Andy Cohen is misogynistic. Now, whether or not you believe that or not, you could make the case, that the Housewives are horrible for television or whatever. Here's the one thing, though, that kills me about Kathy is that she's sort of stepping on her own credibility because, like, for example, when she left the Fashion Police, she gave out this big, ridiculous statement about how it's all about body shaming people and she's not about body shaming people. Okay, well, first of all, Joan Rivers didn't have any issues body shaming people. I'm sorry. Whether she actually felt that way, who knows, but her comedic self did not have any issues body shaming people. And that was all people, whether they're too skinny, too thick, look like crap, or, whatever. I mean, plus that show had been on for years, and then she comes on the show, and then she doesn't really know what the show's about. I just think that was a little weird, right? Then today, she said that she left because she felt like they weren't doing Joan Rivers' legacy any justice or whatever. Okay. But it's one of those things where, I mean, the video where I do feel for her with the whole government thing because, I mean, everyone is being so ridiculous about her. I mean, really. We have so much other shit that we need to worry about. We have to worry about North Korea. We have to worry about fucking the Middle East. We have to worry about all these places. And we're talking about Kathy Griffin and the NFL players. Who gives a shit about either one of them? I mean, in terms of the government, why are they even blips on anybody's radar? Right? The whole thing is it's so petty. That's what it comes off as, petty. And her video slightly, not 100%, but it does slightly come off like Perez Hilton's video where he was crying because he lost a job. Big fucking whoop, you lost a job. If I had a dime for every job that I lost, both in and out of the entertainment industry, please, I would be a rich man. Who cares? You move on. You pick yourself up by the bootstraps and you go on. Now, that might be more difficult with the government breathing down your throat. So I give Kathy credit for that. And I give Kathy credit because she called out Bethany Frankel for all the wonderful things that she's done for Puerto Rico. And no one else has really done anything for them. So she knows, and she says, I loved Anderson Cooper, so it's not like this big old thing where it's this, it's this big feud or whatever. She's like, I was hurt, but the whole thing is, I mean, she doesn't sound like she's unhinged, she doesn't sound like she's losing it, but she does sound a little bit paranoid, and, like when Harvey called her, all he did was say, I want to see if you want to give me an interview or something, and he left her his business number, and then she posts it online, which, whatever, it's his business number. Anyone with half a brain would be able to figure it out anyways. They'd be able to look that up. Oh, and then she went on this thing about William Morris agents and how, they're so, and she ended up leaving her because they asked her for 10% of her money for the rest of her life, which I agree with her. She should have told them to fuck off. I mean, really? I mean, so all of that. Oh, and there is one thing, though, I want to say. There is one issue I take with Andy Cohen, and that's Andy Cohen said that all of Kathy's specials were on Bravo. I'm not quite sure if that's true. I think her first special was either on Comedy Central or Showtime. It was called Hot Cup of Talk, and it's where she talked about how much she loved Hanson. She was a big Hanson fan, right? Do you see that sweat? That sweat just on my face. It's so weird. Anyways, so I could have told Kathy Griffin, you don't want to sign with William Morris. I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't even done anything in this town. Well, hello, I live in Las Vegas now, but I know that I wouldn't sign with William Morris. I'm just saying. And if she had issues with her publicist, that happens all the time. Okay, I'm just gonna let this go here because I have to talk a little bit about the Housewives because, I mean, that's why we're tuned in today. But that's just how I feel. The whole situation is just very sad. That's all, because I love both Andy and Kathy, and I like Anderson too, and I like Harvey too. So it's just kind of sad that everyone is just kind of imploding right now. It's a little bit, crazy. And no one's talking about Corey Feldman. I just want to say we need to be talking about what he said. I stand with Corey. Hashtag I stand with Corey. Okay, moving on. Okay, Housewives of Orange County. So this week on the Housewives of Orange County, I mean, Lydia just manages to just manages to step in it every single week. And this week she was a little bit sensitive to being left out of this group text. Tamara didn't even know that she had left her out. And then when she realized, because Shannon's the one that pointed it out. Shannon's the one that's like, is this a shadow or is that a bruise? What is that? On my upper eyelid. I'll have to look. That's weird. Huh. Maybe it's a bruise. What the hell would that be a bruise from? Did someone hit me in the head and I don't know it? That's weird. Anyways, so, Shannon brought it up and told her. And she was like, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I thought I put you on it. I'm so sorry. And Lydia made such a big deal about it. She threw the menus at the table and I'm going, okay, burp, let's rewind. All those times that Shannon has flown off the handle about something ridiculous and Lydia called her out on it, which, don't get me wrong, she was acting ridiculous. But having said that, Lydia is just as ridiculous as Shannon. So where she says, Shannon, you remind me a lot of Vicky, but she was saying that your behavior, it reminds me of the way that you're describing Vicky's behavior. But again, she isn't that articulate. And she actually, and I give her credit because she actually said that in this past episode. She said, I'm not that articulate. She was talking to Vicky. But really, Lydia's behavior is actually a lot like Shannon. They're a lot more alike than they would care to admit. And I think that's probably why they're not getting along so well, because they are so alike, especially in their reaction to things, especially in their reaction to each other, although in this case it was Tamara. But at the end of the episode, we see that Vicky has had some palpitations and ends up going to the hospital. So we know she's got a heart problem. We know heart disease runs in her family. So we're going to definitely see how this plays out next week. I'm sorry I took so much time up talking about this whole Anderson, Andy, Kathy crap. But I just felt the need to comment because there's just a lot of wrong on both sides of the equation. And there's a lot of right on both sides of the equation too. So I just felt like I had to just say something. Anyways, thank you for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Angel Benton. You can hashtag RHOC or Real Housewife shit to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County. Or you can also hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk about the Bold and Beautiful. I'll be doing that next. And you can also hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get my YouTube videos sent to your email inbox every single day. Thank you so much for logging on today. You all have a wonderful day. Peace out. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Wubba wubba wubba.